In this video, I'm going to be introducing tools that will help you clean up an image. So we're going to be concentrating on the spot healing brush and the healing brush, working a little bit perhaps with the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool can be used for other things as well, which I'll show you in another video. So first, what I'd like to show you is the face that I'm working with, and I'll turn that off, and this is what I ended up with. So you can see here that this person has numerous freckles that I cleaned up. They have a stray piece of hair as well that I cleaned. And then also I actually took some time and readjusted the eye color to make them just a little bit more green. That's not necessarily part of the healing or spot brush, but I just wanted to show you how easy it could be to clean up a face or an image and recolorize quickly. But there you go. So if I took that off, that would be the person right there. So I'm not going to clean up the whole person. I'm just going to show you what each of these things do so you get an idea of how I accomplish this task. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Command J, copy that layer, and I'll turn off the rest of these for right now, and I will lock them so we know that they're not going to move for any which reason, which they probably wouldn't anyways. But so first what I'm going to do is introduce you to the spot healing brush. Now with this, making sure I'm on my correct layer, the brush size does matter a little bit because you want to sort of pick up the size of the thing that you'd like to replace. So this could be smaller than this right here. But what this does, Photoshop will pick up sort of the skin tones that you want it, or skin tones or colors, whatever, that you want it to pick up, and it will replace things that it doesn't think quite belongs in the image. This is great for acne, freckles, scars, anything like that. Again, it could be used for multiple things, but it is used a lot on cleanups for faces and just adding or getting rid of different features that the person or you might not want to include. So it's a great way to alter. So I'm just picking up sort of what I want here, and the spot healing brush tool automatically samples pixels. So that will come up if you ever try to sample yourself. So I'm just going to click, and it automatically knew to get rid of those. Even these like little white heads here, even though we're concentrating on freckles. So I might want to bring in my brush here, get rid of that. And it's as easy as that with the spot healing brush. Again, great for faces, picking out different things that you might want to get rid of. Maybe you want a few freckles, so maybe this is enough. Maybe you just didn't want certain ones, or you just want to get rid of acne. That's fine too. So that's how the spot healing brush works. Now the healing brush is a little bit different. This one you have control over. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit more. So this is where you'll actually pick up what you want. So you have much more control over it. And you know, something like this, it might work better for more control with the healing brush. So I'm just going to click the area I want, and then I'm going to come over here. And the thing you have to be careful here about is that though you have control, when I click down, that little sort of plus comes up. And what that's doing, it's clicking that area. So if I come over, we'll see here where it's darker, it will still pick up this color. So sometimes just be aware of that. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it does leave an awkward color difference. So I really just like to pick up something that's right above it. So if this is clean and that's how I want it to look, but I want to get rid of this hair, then I just start clicking away. I can also drag. Again, as long as you have a clean area to drag it with. Okay, so you get the idea there. Now you want to watch out for, if you look here, you got 1, 2, 3, and they sort of all look similar, so that's where I would go back in and I would gently pluck. And so you want a little bit of diversity in your image, but you also want it to look clean. So just remember that these are healing, but because you are sampling with the with the healing brush and not the spot, it could start to look repetitive. So be very careful about how you treat this brush. But that's really how I did both of these. So the freckles were the spot, the hair was the cleaning. Now with this, what I actually did is I did an extra brow. So if I take this off and this, I'll put these back on. Here's my extra brows. So to hide some of the hair, and you can see I didn't get all of it. I mean, it does take quite a amount of time to get everything perfected. But with the extra brows, this is actually the clone stamp tool, and you can see it over here too a little bit. And I actually did this on a separate layer just so I could have more control. I can see if it's working, if it's not, if it's starting to look repetitive, which it can easily do. But this is great if you have hair that you want to fill in, eyebrows that you want to fill in, but also if you want to take away that little strand of hair, which honestly, if you didn't ever see this first picture, you wouldn't have really known there was a piece of hair there unless you really looked right about here, which all that would take is a little bit more cleanup. But you know, if you zoom out, it looks pretty good. You wouldn't even tell that there was a piece of hair there to begin with. So with the clone stamp tool, you can use this to replicate. So whether that be to cover up something or to maybe add more flowers in a field, you know, it can be used for multiple things. So with that, I'm actually going to do a new layer as well, just again so I can have a little bit more control. I can go in and erase a little bit if I want to, or I can add a layer mask. It's just great maybe to never edit directly on your piece. So even with the spot healing brush, I could have done a new layer and done it on there instead. This way you have way more control over what you want to do and how you want to edit it, and you can add layer masks to edit them even further. So just remember that those are options. But here is the clone stamp tool. I'm just going to go down a little bit in this. And again, I'm just going to show you how this works. So with Option, so both with the clone stamp and the healing brush, you have to hold down Option to soak up sort of the atmosphere that you want. And you can make your brush bigger if you want. So if I want this spot right here, but you can also see how direction-wise, right, like it's not going to work. But here, if I sample that and I put that up there, that will work because it's naturally going up. But what you can do is that you can come up to Window and Clone Source. And it does take a little bit of finagling, but what you can do here is you can clone that, and we'll go here because it's a different direction. You can see that, but you can come over here and you can adjust that. So again, that's where it takes a little bit of time to figure out exactly how you want to adjust it. But you can come over and do that. So come up here and just work a little bit more with the clone source and experiment with it and see how it will work best for you. Okay, you have lots of different options here, so just take some time and, and investigate. Again, Windows, Clone Source, and there you go. The last thing I want to show you is just how I made the eyes a different color. Again, this is just an adjustment layer, and it's just down here. So hue and saturation. And what I've done, and all I've done is I quick selected the eye. Again, if I have too much, I hold down Option, suck that in so I can just get the eye. You can pencil this out as well. Again, I'm just showing you here. You can do the other one. Again, take your time. Not perfect, but you'll get the point. So we got that. Then we want to come down here to adjustment layer, hue and saturation. There we go. This way you can see better. And so you don't want to go too fake here, but also with this, like I could maybe go this extreme, and let's just try this out. And then I can come up here and we can try different modes. So maybe lightened will work, but then maybe I'll do, you know, let's see, like almost 40% opacity. So It gives it a little bit more boost. It's not taking control. So though it might look extreme with the bright green, once you come up here and play with your blending modes in your layers panel, and also the opacity of that blending mode, you'll have more options. So again, we worked with the spot healing, which selects on its own, the healing brush, which you need to use Option or Alt in a PC to select which area you want to sort of copy, embrace, and then it will copy it for you. And then we also took a glance at the clone stamp while selecting the eyes and working with an adjustment layer for hue and saturation, and then working with the blending and the opacity of that. And there you go. Those are some great ways to retouch a surface that you want to alter.